Hello anyone, everyone, and no one. Welcome back to another Minecraft tutorial. And today's tutorial, what are we going to be going over? Well, if you follow Truly Bedrock at all, then if you see where I'm flying around here, you might get a good guess. Well, the title probably gave it away too. Today I'm going to show you how I was able to build this, a witch hut farm for Minecraft Bedrock Edition, pretty much on like the first day on Season 1 of Truly Bedrock. Now, I've had a lot of people ask about this in the comments section, a lot. And I've touched base on it a couple times in comments and even in the episodes so far, but I still keep getting a lot of questions about it. And this thing is actually not that hard to use. You use a couple little texture packs and you can get this thing knocked out pretty quick. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to do this in creative. I really like to do my stuff in survival, but when I built this I didn't get a chance to do it then. So I'm going to jump into a creative version of this map that's just fresh and clean. So we're going to go to seed 96 and we're going to come to these coordinates right about here on that world. Alright, now as you can see here, I've got the world already started to be created. I've thrown it into creative. We got seed 96. Show coordinates on, use cheats, because I'm just showing you how to do this in creative real quick. And there's going to be 2 resource packs that I'm going to do. Wow, words, I just can't speak today. There's going to be 2 resource packs that I'm going to use to help this process along and make it go a lot faster. First, we're going to be using this one here, 1.2.10 chunk visualizer. This thing will allow you to see chunk borders so that you can chunk align this thing and make your life a lot easier. Now, another pack that we are going to be using, if I scroll down through here, is this one right here, the X-Ray by Riflo. I'm gonna fail at that name. I'm sorry, buddy. But this thing allows you to see entities throughout the world. Now, since Bedrock Edition has some pretty rough spawning mechanics, making any kind of mob farm is a little bit of a pain. Now, recently they did change how spawning mechanics work, which makes this thing work a little bit easier, but we still got the despawn issues. That's where that pack right there is going to come in to make our lives a little bit easier when we actually go to lighting up everything. So let's jump straight on in here and let's get started, shall we? Alrighty, and here we are in the fresh seed right above the area, and as you can see here, our witch hut is right here, and we done got witches running all over the place here. Now, the key thing to remember about this is you want to eliminate density checks within the area. Now, I know I'm already using words and people are like, density checks. Let me try to give you a quick demonstration of what I'm talking about. Alright, now what we've got going on here is if you think of this leaf block as this chunk right here that this witch hut is in, this and you are AFK in this chunk, whether it be up here, whether it be down here, all these log blocks around here represent the area that you load as a player, where stuff is active. So, alright, let's break this down a little bit more. Okay, so we were talking about density checks, okay? So if this game goes to spawn a witch in this chunk, it does a check. It looks out 4 chunks in each direction to see if the mob density check has been met to spawn a mob there. Alright? Now, if the mob density check has been met, aka there's too many mobs in the area, it will not spawn a witch. So what we need to do is we need to light up this whole area. We don't got to go outside of it, but we've got to light up this whole area. Everywhere where there's a log block from this centralized chunk, we've got to light it up below ground. Now, the reason we're lighting it up below ground is because this is technically a cave spawn. Okay, we are going to light up the surface too to prevent any other mob issues, but right off the bat we need to light up all the caves in this area surrounding that witch hut. Now, how big of an area is that? Well, let me remove these trees and get it mapped out to give you a visual. And this is about the size of the area you're going to end up with that you're going to have to work with here. Now, I'm doing this in the same order that I did all this on Truly Bedrock. So I used the chunk visualizer to map out my chunks. Now, if you are on a realm or world where you cannot use a chunk visualizer, and you have to do this manually. I do have a tutorial on how to do this manually in survival without the use of the chunk visualizer. The chunk visualizer just makes things a whole lot easier, but it is possible to do without it. So what has happened? I have removed all the trees out of this area, and I went ahead and filled in all the water. That's just going to help with the drowned issue and everything else. Now, from this point forward, this is where sometimes some people say this gets a little bit controversial. You know, everybody's entitled to their opinions. This is where I'm going to use the Entity X-Ray Pack now, because now I've got my perimeter established and I need to light everything up. So let me turn that thing on. Alright, we've got this thing turned on. Now, this being a freshly created world, I haven't been down, I haven't been mining or anything like that yet, so there's not going to be a lot of mobs underneath because of the recent spawn mechanic changes. But if you go mining and everything like that, you're going to start loading in mobs because they spawn spherical around the player now. I think it's around 25 to 55-ish blocks, give or take. I don't know the exact number, I haven't done enough tests to honestly know, I just know what people have said. So this is the point where I will use the Entity X-Ray here to my advantage. As you can see, looking through the world, what we need to do now is literally go light up every cave around here that's inside this area. So like if we look right down here, you can see there's mobs. Now they're underground, so they're going to count as cave caps. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Look, I mean there's just a lot of them, and there's no easy way to do this part. This part is just the part that just is going to take a while. You literally just got to go through, kill off the mobs, and light up the caves. I mean, it's a long process, but it's a good thing you just chop down all them trees because you're going to need the sticks. You're going to need the sticks for the torches. And I mean, just literally everywhere you go, you find a mob, you kill it. And of course, I'm trying to kill a witch by punching it, and I don't have a sword on me. Ah! And I don't think I can win this fight. Okay, finally killed her. But yes, I mean, that's the next step in this process. Everywhere around there, you've got to light up the caves. There's no simple, easy, shortcut way for this. This is just the way it is right now. Hopefully when when despawn mechanics get fixed, this will no longer be an issue. Because, well, you won't have to do nowhere near the same amount of cave lighting. And I'm stuck in the gravel. Great, just great. And just for demonstrational purposes, where we just found that spawner right there, I got stuck in the gravel, I came up, I'm outside the area. I don't need to be in here. You need to only stay within the area that you are actually loading, because you're going to AFK right above that thing, or below it, however you want to do it, but you're going to AFK in this chunk so that you're not loading anything else out there, and there's not going to be any mobs inside this area. So yes, I mean, the sad hard truth is this is the next step of the process. If you do not have access to this, the Entity X-Ray, because your world or realm does not allow it, then this is just going to be a hard grind. And I mean, I hate to put it that way, but that's just the whole cold hard truth of the matter. This is the next process in it. I mean, your only other option is to literally quarry all this down. Dig it all out, down the bedrock. I mean, because all it takes is one little bitty cave. But yeah, all it can take is just one little cave holding 8 or 9 mobs, and that's it. That thing right there will spawn nothing. So you've got to light them all up. Light them all up, light them all up. There's just no easy way around that, you know, and that makes things a pain. But hopefully in the future, they will get better. Now, on a side note, let me jump down here to the bottom somewhere and see if I can find something else that I need to show to you. And right here is another prime example of something else you're going to have to deal with while doing this. Been just lighting up around the area, and here it is. Started to find slimes. Now, you could light this area all the way up. You could spam this thing with torches, and it's just not going to matter, because slimes, they don't care about light levels at all. So in order to deal with this problem here, we are going to need some slabs. I mean, that's just as simple as it gets. Anywhere while you're lighting, if you run into slimes, let's just assume that that is going to be a slime chunk. So you've literally got to go through anywhere you're finding slime spawning, unless you're going to go to like use MC Tool Chest or Mine Atlas or Slime Chunk Finder. Best thing I can tell you, while you're lighting everything up, you find a slime, you see a slime, slab that chunk out to prevent them from spawning, because right now they don't spawn on slabs. So let's hope that that doesn't change either. And after many hours of lighting up caves, you will finally end up with something about like this. Now, I got everything lit up a while ago. You know, when I did this on Truly Bedrock in Survival, I probably spent, if I had to put a number on it, about 6 hours lighting everything up, and it's not bad. Now, what's going on up here? I was doing a little bit of testing. As you can see, I've already got this built. We're gonna go over this in just a second. But this is right on 50 blocks up from the top of the spawning spot of where the witches actually spawn inside the hut. Now, if I just tear this down real quick, we will jump down here and I will show you what is going on down here. Now, first things first, I have tried multiple ways of doing this. You know, a lot of people use tripwires. If you literally crack this open right here and look inside here, I've filled up the back wall here. Now, I've done some testing and I know that the witches spawn. I'm pretty sure it's on that block right there. Now, if you want to find this out for yourself, simply just grab some glass, throw you down some glass like so, and get all that in there, and we will temporarily just break this redstone. We're going to close this back up so it gets nice and dark, and we're going to go right back up here in the air just to see where our witches spawn. That way they're going to be stuck in the glass, they're not going to fall through the floor, and we will know exactly where they are. And there you see, we already got a witch in there, so let's go see which block that witch did spawn on. And I hear you cackling. So alright, here we go. If we remove this one, so we know it's not either of those. It looks like, because they spawn on, what is it? The northwest corner? Northeast? I don't know. I can't remember none of these details when I need to. But our witch is right there. So, in that area, I'm pretty sure it is that block right there. So, as I was saying, I've tried many different ways. A lot of people come across the top of these, put in tripwire hooks and tripwires and just run it right across where their heads spawn. If the tripwire is in their feet, they will not spawn there, but if it comes across their head, they will continue to spawn in that spot. But I noticed an issue with this. What I've come to notice is if I use the tripwire method, I don't know why, but for some reason my rates are actually a lot worse. And I thought I removed that glass. Bye! But as I said, if I use the tripwires, my rates seem to be a lot worse. So I use a hopper clock. This is a silent hopper clock. There's really not much to explain with this thing. You got a couple hoppers here facing into each other. You've got one item inside of them. Going through a block, into a comparator, up to some redstone torches, into another set here. And of course I've got one stack of items filtering back and forth between this one. So every time it switches, it comes over here, sends a pulse, alright? From there, it's coming over here and unpowering this torch on this side, that torch on that side, which of course will retract the pistons and allow the witches to just splat down to their death down below. Now, speaking of down below, I've already carved out a little area here, brought it all the way down here, and as you can see, I've got some lamps here. Now, because I'm doing this in creative, I want to actually demonstrate something to you. Now, you could change that hopper clock to whatever you want. You could change it to 1 stack, half a stack, 2 stacks, 3 stacks. But sometimes the witches, this goes back to the exact tripwire thing. Sometimes they will spawn multiples at once or back to back. You know, like sometimes this light will come on and this one, this one, this one. Now what this lighting here is this is just a command block back here that's just testing for at entity type equals witch, which simply goes into this dust. Every time it detects another witch, it's just lighting this up. This is just visual for my purposes of testing, okay? Now, I've noticed from this, which I think the cave cap is actually supposed to be 8, this thing will spawn up to 9 witches at a time. So once it doesn't always reach 9. I've used, wow, that is a lot of witches up there. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's actually nice. And you see another one's already started respawning. And you see there was 2 more. That was back to back. If I'd been using the tripwires, the floor would have been open, it would have been an invalid spawn point, and I would have missed out on that witch. That's why I found that using the hopper clock system is actually better for me. Now, as I said, I got all that situated out, got that built, got the clock going and everything, and this has been running for, let me look at the clock here, right on 45 minutes now, and this is what we got. Now, I mean, 45 minutes, 2 stacks of gunpowder, you get the glowstone dust, you get the redstone dust, you get the sticks, which you could put into a smelter, and every now and again you're going to get a random other mob in there. You may get a creeper spawn up there with them, because there are some valid spawn spots for other things. You may get a skeleton, you may even get a zombie. You know, the spider eyes, the sugar, you know, and the glass bottles. I mean, what are you ever going to need that many glass bottles for? If the sugar could be fed into a composter, that could be useful. But it's like this many spider eyes. You know, these things are kind of useless, in my opinion. You know, the things I'm after is the gunpowder, the redstone dust, and the glowstone dust. Now, if you wanted to increase the rates of this thing, you could simply do something just like this right here. As for testing, I was just putting in another portal here, and you would just simply put down some water, go ahead and block off this side over here, and just push them into the nether. And then you could go in there and kill them yourself with a looting sword. You know, I would not advise AFKing long periods of time at this, because of course loading that many mobs into the nether can indeed crash your game if your device cannot handle it or the realm cannot handle it. Now, all that being covered, this thing is not the most amazing crazy farm in the world, but it does work, and it works really good. Now, seeing on Truly Bedrock, as I am building a giant witch hut, and literally like my storage area is around in through here, I'm keeping this area loaded all the time. So whether I'm AFK, whether I'm building, whether I'm up here doing farming, messing with my storage system, I am always pretty much in this area, loading this area. So that's pretty much the basics. You know, a lot of people have asked me. Figured I'd make a quick video showing what I did to make it work and give you a little bit of an explanation on it all. And as you can see there, we got a spider in there in the mix. That could be a little bit problematic. Is that gonna fall down? Yep, goodbye, spider. But wow, that looks that looks really buggy. But you know, I think that's just about gonna wrap up this tutorial. So if you enjoyed it, make sure to drop a like. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe, and I will catch you next time. Goodbye.